And so he took me outside to the front yard, and the entire lawn was covered in white fur. And
Oh
he
no.
took me to he took me to the corner of the yard, and I'm like 10. He took me to the corner of the yard and showed me a pile of organs, and apparently had been ripped open by a coyote or a wild dog or something like that.
That is why we do not keep our rabbits outside.
Yeah.
Our rabbits are house bunnies, and they're very, very happy. The thing is, when you keep your bunny outside, like, you can't really grow much of a relationship with them. You know, bunnies are very social animals. They're kind of a mixture between a cat and a dog. And if you have them indoors, obviously you've got to make sure you bunny proof it and keep an eye on them not destroying your sofa or whatever. They can be very, very social animals.
You can't build much of a relationship with them either when they're spread all over your front yard.
Exactly.
Yeah. Actually,
Poor
speaking
baby.
of that, just the other day, like about a week and a half ago, I came home from work. There was, like, in the middle of the day this happened. A coyote came over into my backyard and tore apart a rabbit. Just like you said, there was fur everywhere. It was just a wild rabbit. And I had to clean it up. There was guts. Oh, it was just bad.
Yeah,
It was really bad.
wild rabbits tend to be a lot smaller as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone thinks a rabbit's cute until you realize they eat their own shit. And that is why wild rabbits, if I recall, that is why wild rabbits tend to be smaller, because they don't really do that.
Yeah.
So house rabbits, man, they eat domesticated rabbits, they eat their own shit and they grow big and strong. Don't put that in the intro.
If there's one takeaway to get big and strong, eat shit.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of the Doom Eternal podcast. I am joined by my good old friend P&D Ketchup. Ketchup, how are you doing today?
Doing well, man. It's not much to update really. Just having a good time, and it's nice to be doing this again. I'm lucky that I think of all of the syncing up we do with everyone, I get the best time slot. So I'm awake. I've had my coffee. It's like half midday here. Not to rub it in everyone else.
Yes, everyone's jealous. And I'm also joined by my brother from another mother in Australia, the Spud Hunter. Spud, what's up?
Hey, g'day, Matt. How you going?
Okay, you can relax on the accent.
G'day.
Oh yeah, right. All right, too right.
Yeah, and we have
How we going, all right?
and we have two special guests joining us today from two different sides of the Doom Eternal community. It's great to have you both here. Tomatrix, how are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Really early, but I'm good.
Yeah, and also up very early, fresh off of his second GDQ run of Doom Eternal, Bloodshot. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
All right, that was a great run, man. I don't know if everyone's seen it. I saw it partially when you did it, and then last night I made sure to rewatch the whole thing, and it was just really impressive.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think you're probably the best person to do that because you just keep your cool the entire time. Right? Like nothing seems to like jar you or throw you off. You just keep going. And I don't know, sometimes speedrunners, they get the nerves or they get a little too anxious. I mean, if it were me, I would be screaming every 10 seconds. But I don't know, you keep your cool and it makes you a good performer.
Thank you. I've gotten told that maybe live once. Some people were shouting at me for doing some stuff at 5 HP when I really shouldn't have been, and I barely noticed it.
You were totally cool. You're like, what? Oh, I'm almost dead. I didn't notice.
Is that your first stage? Like your first? Oh, well, then again, that wasn't at the event as such, was it? Because it was done like technically over live stream, right?
Yeah. So both last year and this year, GDQ was done online. It was my first time doing any sort of well, it wasn't my first big event actually. Before last year, I did it was BTRL, which was Break the Record Live, which was another big speedrunning event hosted by ESA, European Speedrun Association, I believe. But all of those have been online only events, so I have not done any live kind of
online, offline. It's still huge, man. Like, well done to you, because it's like that's a massive audience over your shoulder while you're doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's for me. It's not. And I say this about any any event, anything I'm doing, whether it's speedrunning or not, I don't get nervous during the things. I don't get nervous during the runs. I don't even notice that it's a bunch of people that I'm streaming for. It's just the waiting that I hate doing. I want to get whatever I'm doing over with and just get into the moment, or else I don't even think about what's going to go wrong. I just, for some reason, like the nerves start building up, even though I know everything's going to be fine. It's such a weird thing.
Well, it's the anticipation, isn't it? I think you look at all kinds of different settings where someone would perform, whether it's playing in a tournament, whether it's doing some kind of exhibition. And I think speedrunning, it's the exact same setting where it's basically putting aside the practice and putting aside the stuff that you know how to do. And it's the fact that this one setting that I'm going to do is now different to the rest. That there's almost like the stakes are naturally higher, aren't they? And I think it's whether it's a speedrunning marathon where it's okay, this is my one run, and you always want it to go well, I'm sure. Or whether you're playing in a tournament and it's like, I can play 100 games of practice this day, but this best of 3 I'm about to sit down and play. That's it. I could have 2 terrible games and that's it. I'm out. I'm in losers bracket or whatever it is. So it's like being able to, I think, rise above that pressure is always an impressive thing. And I think if you don't really notice it when it's live and the nerves come before, I think that's a great mentality to have, because it means that when the pressure's on, you're able to kind of, I think, step up. And well, clearly you're able to step up as the run was able to show.
Tournament nerves are the worst, man.
I never conquered them, Mayo. I
haven't either. It's not the days before, but being there at the event, just waiting for that next match that's in 4 hours, and you're looking at that name and you're like, what is this crazy son of a bitch gonna do?
Or my favorite thing is when you're studying players in a bracket and you're fully prepared that you're going to have to face them because they're going to get through, and then they lose to people that you don't know, and then you have no information. That's the best thing.
My closest experience to any sort of stage performance would be like Friday Night Fights, and honestly, the nerves were there. That was like my first public anything that I've ever done. So building up to that and like the whole week before, it was just like, oh, dude, I was so nervous.
You smashed it though. That was a good show.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Friday Night Fights. I miss it a lot.
I know that needs to come back. Hopefully.
I agree.
Battlemode 2.
Is there a release date on that?
No.
Okay, but you
guys
guys
coming in after Invasion? Wait.
My best guess would have been 6 to 8 weeks after the last update we just had. That's based off of a little information, but not too much. So it was like really vague.
We have that new map at least. Sorry, not to interrupt.
Corrosion is awesome.
What? Oh, no, that's a good topic. What was it called again? Corrosion?
Yeah, Corrosion. It's like a Blood Swamps tile set for a new Battlemode map.
What makes that map? What makes it special? What do you guys like about it?
Balanced, like heavily. I honestly think it's probably my favorite map of all time now, out of all of them. I mean, there's not a lot, but it's a really, really good map. There's a lot of sections in the map where it's Slayer or Demon sided. It doesn't feel like the whole map is just like, oh, Slayer can own this part of the map, and then the demons have to push them or they die, or it feels a lot more balanced than the other one. Like Torment, it's so vertical. Any of the demons can just go up and down between 3 separate levels really, really quick, and then the Slayer is like, it's pretty much like a Slayer spawn area on Torment is just a wreck for the Slayer. But then the demon side on Torment is like a wreck for the demons because of how it's set up, where it's like the map isn't too balanced and it's like really one-sided depending on where you're at. But Corrosion, no matter where you're at, it feels like it's just who's better and who can outsmart the other opponent.
So it's better designed with the current knowledge of how people are playing the game, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good to hear.
I think we definitely need to absolutely mention that, of all the Battlemode has gone through some changes constantly. The amount of, and maybe not so much recently, but when the game was new in that kind of year one, the amount of changes that Battlemode received, and then we reached that point where the console changes were different to PC because of just the natural difference that a pad Slayer would have versus like a mouse and keyboard. Obviously, there are really, really strong players on pad, and that has been proven. But there were elements, I think, for the kind of greater audience where It was kind of hard for Slayer, man, on console, because like demons just able to kind of move in and they're less execution heavy, and the Slayer just, for the most part, just did not have the same access to the DPS. So that was always a quite a prominent thing. And then you look at the changes that PC battle mode was seeing, where demons were having pretty substantial changes, abilities were being changed, damage values were being changed, and then all the while, like, pretty significant tools were being swapped. You know, some demons had armored, where they, you know, take reduced damage. Some demons had haste, and then some demons had it taken away and or swapped around. So it was like the actual like meta of what demons were most prominent and what weapons were most prominent, whatever it was, like on a month by month basis, that was changing like night and day. So it was kind of hard to keep up with. And I'm going to be honest, I'm relatively out of the loop with battle mode, as in of this moment, to the point where it's just, you know, it's not the game's fault by any means. I've just been super busy with everything that's going on work-wise. But like, apparently now the Revenant can like rocket jump itself.
Dude, the Revenant is by far the most fun demon to play for me right now. It's like, ever since it just got a new ability, they made it so, for one, his base jetpack, like vertical speed, has been increased by 50%. So he climbs vertically a lot faster. So he just feels so much more mobile now, especially like in the vertical aspect. So on like Torment, before, anytime he tried to get up to those like higher levels, he really couldn't do so really quick. And the Slayer just like Meek onto him, jump above him, SSG him, and he's dead.
Yeah, so angles, like denying line of sight was always really, really important because of that. Yeah, to just accommodate for it.
And then on top of that, he just got a new upgrade, which you can get on round 1 or 2, and it's called Sadist. And when you're below or 600 health or below, I believe that's what it is. It's like 30%, and I think it's just 600.
Yeah. Which, for those that don't know, that is quite tender.
Yeah, that's like you're 1 or 2 shot away from dying. It's just bad. But if you do end up living and you have Sadist upgrade, your projectiles from your rockets travel 25% faster and do more increased damage, right? And I believe that affects rocket barrage. I could be wrong. I haven't seen it tested yet. But on top of that, you also have knockback to the Revenant. So if you're in the air or flying with your jetpack or anything as a Revenant and you shoot backwards, it's going to propel you the other direction. So you can kind of use your rockets like a ballista boost. And let me tell you, it's like the fastest thing in the entire game. Kiting with the Revenant is just unparalleled before. It's so fun.
That sounds sick.
And there's like almost no cooldown on it either. So like, you know, a ballista, you have to like shoot it once and then you have to wait for the cooldown or swap weapons or something. No, it's just like boom, boom, boom. And as long as you know exactly where you're going behind yourself, dude, you're just flying. Oh my gosh.
You know that tech you can do with Revenant, I'm assuming you can still do it, where it's like if you use the rocket barrage and you're basically just holding down left click, you fire a primary shot on like basically the first possible frame when the move finishes. So if you have that upgraded, does it also make your barrage a little bit slipperier too? Because the moment the barrage is done, you can get out and change your direction as well.
I think that is still a thing, yeah. And then dash barraging has been discovered to be a lot easier at like, because like that's almost impossible. I think it's impossible to do above, I think it's like 45 frames or 60 frames. So like if you're at 60 or below, you can actually dash barrage, and it's still really hard to pull off, but it's still nuts. Like remember what was his name?
Was that the thing that I did? Wait, when you do the dash and barrage at the same time and you carry the momentum?
Yeah.
That's still in the game. I found that like month 1.
I know. Well, so that got patched out for like the higher FPS and stuff, but like for some reason it's still in the game at like low FPS.
Oh my god!
Unless it was patched out recently, I have no idea. This is like 2 month.
Damn, dude. I was about to say yeah. I remember finding that ages ago, and it was like
I remember.
Oh, it was so good.
Player 2V, we're talking about it.
Yeah. Again, for those that don't know what we're talking about, we'll definitely give a little bit of extra context. So there was always this thing about the Revenant. You are able to kind of manipulate it a bit, where you can do a barrage, which normally has you stuck in place. It's meant to be, you know, you have a humongous output of damage, but you are stuck in place while you're doing it, right? And I think back then, you didn't really have armored either. I think he had haste on both. I can't remember. No, armored was on one. It's been a long time. But basically, you were a bit of a sitting duck. So you had to make sure that the barrage was going to be pivotal. But, and it was very hard to do, you could do your dash and barrage at pretty much the same time. I think it had to be almost like on the same frame. Like it was very, very specific.
Really
but what
tough.
happened was you would carry the absolute momentum of the dash while doing the barrage. And then when the barrage ended, you would still carry that momentum of the dash without having to dash. So you could go coast to coast, one side of the map to the other.
It's stupid.
Lightning fast. It was so good. But yeah, I guess apparently that's still a thing now, apparently.
Oh yeah, so on top of that, dude, Rev got massive changes. I don't know how much you knew about recent stuff, Ketchup, but like, I want to say since update 4 or 5, one of those two, Rev has had armor. Like he has armor for one of his kits.
I from day one was like, that could be quite powerful, and it was every bit as powerful as I assumed.
And it was just, it really put Rev in a weird place where like a lot of people thought it was good, and then a lot of people were like, yeah, this is just broken, and it's just, I don't know. So actually this recent update, with all his other changes, they also made it so he no longer has armor in any of the kits. It's double haste for both his kits. And then he actually gets armor while he's barraging. So it only activates as soon as you barrage, and then once it's done, armor goes away.
So that's that green shit on the Revenant in the campaign.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it applies to the campaign when you play as the Revenant and you do the barrage. And I noticed it on my last. I did a run.
I didn't know that.
I did a run last week, or like 4 days ago, and every time I hit the barrage, suddenly I was green, and everyone in the chat was like, "Well, it must be some kind of battle mode armor thing."
Yep.
Okay.
That's so funny that that's still a thing.
Bloodshot. I mean, you're a tech master of this game, but be honest, is this the first time you've ever heard the term dash barrage?
No. But only because I do have like a bunch. I don't do battle mode as often as I would like to, but a lot of times I try to do battle mode whenever there's an update. I have a lot of friends who are like in battle mode. I'm part of the Spicy Demons crew, as I know Tom is as well.
Demons.
Mm-hmm.
And I always try to keep up with them because even if I'm not playing battle mode as much as I would like to, I want to stay informed as to what's happening so that I know, everybody seems happy with whatever update's happening. And
that's cool.
Also, as much as this is going to sound weird, as much as it doesn't matter for speedruns anymore, it used to matter because whenever the Revenant changed, like you said, the Revenant would change in the that section of cultists.
Yep.
So sometimes we'd have to pay attention just a little bit, even though it didn't matter much. It mattered enough where we would kind of try to pay attention a little bit.
In one of my cleared, and I remember this, in one of my cleared Ultra Nightmare runs, in that Revenant, I was messing around with Revenant during the Ultra Nightmare run, and I did a dash barrage on a Cyber Demon, and I was like, it was the funniest thing. I was like, eat the tech AI who it does not matter against.
Was his insta kill it anyway? The full barrage.
I know, right? It just felt good to style on him, It's not every day you get a dab on a Cyber Demon like that. It's like a tyrant.
That was quite a moment, that first campaign run, when you're like, oh my god, I'm playing as a Revenant. It was so cool, and also a really, really smart hook to try to get you into battle mode as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it honestly really goes to show how fun, and I don't know whether everyone else feels the same, but I actually find that portion of the game extremely fun to play. Which is why I say the idea of using a demon against other demons in Doom Eternal was still an extremely fun experience where, I'm sure we'll be talking about this later on, but, we're all very aware that there has been some kind of development shift where there is a official kind of Horde mode in the works. I kind of still feel like I'd love to see some kind of demon rune kind of taken from 2016 into it, where you could play as one of the battle mode demons as a power up against the AI demons, and I think it would be really, really, really fun. I don't know whether I'm alone in that one. I've mentioned it before. I think there might be some people sick of hearing it, but I'm holding out for it, man. One day.
That could be cool.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't add more, to be honest, because it like you said, it did sort of spice things up at that sort of what would be it feels like the third way through the game. And
I definitely agree. I think it's one of those things where they definitely threw it in because it's a cool idea and then never fleshed it out, which is fine. It's not something that if they had never put the Revenant section, I wouldn't have known I was missing it. But then they put the Revenant section in, and you go through the rest of the game expecting the second, either Revenant section or a Marauder section or whatever else, and it doesn't happen, and you're like, well, that's interesting, but okay.
I want to play. I want to run through a hallway of fodder as a buffed Pinky.
Just bowling ball.
just take me down a hallway. Give me 15 seconds, man. That's all I need.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's not just a simple cut and paste job, but anyone that ever played the Spectre in 2016 knows how fun that ball rush was.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. 2016 multiplayer was like, dude, it was so good. Oh my God.
I mean, there are still lobbies on PC.
Yeah, I know. I play them. I host lobbies all the time on my streams and stuff.
Oh yeah, there's like matchmaking too.
It's freaking great.
Yeah. It's like during the day you can search EU for us, and then in the evening you can search NA, and you'll always find. I play it most nights still, and it's just very much the whole idea of playing the side of things that you enjoy. There was this whole thing of 2016 versus Battlemode, and it's like, why not both? I'm happy to play both. If I want to play demons, I can play Battlemode. If I like the single player side of Slayer, I do master levels and stuff like that. But if I want something different, and there are still lobbies open, I play 2016 as well. It's this whole weird thing these days where it's like, I don't know why playing multiple games is seen as this kind of like spicy take.
Ketchup, you're either part of the problem or the solution. Get with it.
I just like playing my favorite games, man.
I think the problem with the whole thing where they just want to play one game or the other, it's mainly like whatever the newest game is. So like if another, it's like the like the Call of Duty effect, where like as soon as the next Call of Duty game comes out, every other one comes pretty much obsolete because like the lobbies just die. It's like the same thing. Like as soon as like the next Doom game comes out, I'm sure a majority of the audience just moves to the next one, and then they're like, oh, but like that's in an older game, so like why would I play that? And it's just
I've got like a tiny tangent, but it's related to that, and it's in the universe because it involves Quake, right?
Oh yeah, I love Quake.
Arena FPS, right, has that problem big time.
Yeah.
So, for instance, you've got every iteration of Quake, and there's literally hardcores that still to this day only play Quake 1 and a version of it called Quake World, which enables them to all play on multiplayer with like a custom server and all that.
Quake World is so fast, man. It's unbelievable.
It is. It's Quake on roids, which is OG Quake.
As well, Quake Champions now has got the Dark Zone, so there is that.
I know, it's like some of them, let's try it out. So they're trying to bring them in. But like, so there's that. Then there's all these like modded versions like PQL and all that, and they have like these different rule sets and rah. And they've developed over time, there's been like all these different shards of basically the same game and the same player base and fans, but they've all segregated into little groups instead of being unified by one game. And then just at the tail end of like the sort of resurgence of Arena FPS we had for a couple years there, Diabolical came out. So then a whole bunch of people jumped ship from Quake Champions and a few other games over onto that, and then that sort of tanked a bit. And then everyone no one knows what to go back to. So it's kind of like, you can have that thing where everyone's really, they all want the same thing, but they're getting separated by different iterations and stuff. And I think the thing Call of Duty does well, even though I'm not a Call of Duty fan, is they do actually get everyone to hop over onto the next one, which obviously the suits love because they keep making money, but people, those servers still pop. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get that one day in this genre of shooter where, there's going to be a multiplayer that just galvanizes everyone, Because I've always felt like every multiplayer of this genre recently, there's been people like they've either, I don't want to use the word ostracized, but like, I don't know, just not, they haven't clicked with it. It hasn't gelled everyone. You know what I mean?
I think the early days of Quake Champions did somewhat have that. I think $1 million tournament definitely helps. But you look at the Maestro roster at the time, and you had players that. You look at that roster, and you had players that came from all kinds of different. Like the first Quake World Championships, you had Half-Life 2 deathmatch player, you had Painkiller, you had Unreal Tournament, like a lot of different players from a lot of different games kind of making up those same rosters, man. There was a little bit of that in the first year, but
yeah, definitely
not so much anymore.
I feel like one of the biggest things for arena shooters though too is like, dude, it's my favorite genre by far, but The biggest thing is there's not a lot of stuff out there content wise for people who want to get into it to get into it. Like there is some stuff here and there, but there isn't like a lot of it. Like I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever just tried to look up like how to play Quake or like how to get into Quake, there's not actually as much stuff as you'd think there'd be. And I feel like there needs to be more content made about the entry barrier and like how to get into like the mindset of an arena FPS, you know?
I actually think that's... Oh, take it on, Spud. I don't want to talk too much.
No, sorry. No, it's that's that little bit of delay that I have all the way from down under down here. That couple milliseconds and my shitty NBN connection. I'm always... seriously, it's a habit on this podcast. I'm always talking over people. I wondered if it was my personality at first, but really I'm just going to blame the connection. But before you forget, Ketchup, go, because seriously, I'll run my mouth for days.
Now, I'm sure we have plenty of topics to get through today, and I do not want to hog all of the time. But the big thing is for that, Tomatrix, I felt the same way for a long time. I think it might just be because I do YouTube. It's just that is one thing that Arena FPS has always lacked, I think, is that distinct like culture of content creation on YouTube that's not tournament footage. Tournament footage is great, you know, and it really is. The hardcore Arena FPS, they like their tournaments. There's so many.
Oh, yeah.
There's a hardworking worldwide scene out there that do different tournaments for the games, and you can find it all over the place, and you're almost spoilt for choice. And I got to give absolute props to the community for stepping up and doing that for as many years as they have. But at the same time, there's a different area of content creation which really helps people bridge that gap. I will put out... Sometimes I'll just collect some, you know, goofy, stupid clips of me. I'll be learning a new champion and messing around in TDM and free for all. And whenever something funny happens, I'll kind of just shadow play it, and then I'll compile them into a video where this champion's the theme of the video. And my gameplay is far from the best out there, I tell you. But the amount of comments you get on there that are like, I've really wanted to get into this game, or watching this video has made me really want to download Quake Champions and give it a go. That kind of comment happens a lot.
Yeah, dude.
Because it's not just hardcore, right? It's the people that help you bridge that gap, and Arena FPS just doesn't have that.
There's not like you guys don't have like large like main communicators for it at this point, I suppose.
No, you get there are a lot of players that are doing it. You know, Wenger, for example, one of the best Quake players out there right now. He does a lot of videos where he teaches you the absolute like higher level side of the game, like map overviews. He just done a video about spawn manipulation on Awoken and stuff like that.
I have a bit of a theory with it, because there was like two people come to mind straight away. Let's say the heyday was like mid 2018 to like 2019 of Quake Champions, right? During that period, I remember two guys, Frothy Omen from the US. He made a whole bunch of guides, like from movement to the maps to everything. Like he covered the game top to bottom.
Yeah, I watched a bunch of his stuff when I played.
Yeah, and it was like an intermediate level, wasn't it? It wasn't like, this is how you be a god. This was like, this is how you get into it, right? And it was pretty engaging. It wasn't like, whoa, like crazy prankster YouTube style kind of stuff, but it was like, you know, like it was engaging. And then a friend of mine, Chug, he did a whole bunch of very specific movement tutorials for like characters like Slash, which are pretty like, you know, expert kind of content.
I love Slash.
And yeah, and there is stuff out there, but I think it's the whole content creation thing with certain games and communities. It's a bit of like give and take, and what galvanizes things and creates momentum. Like, you know, like I don't think a lot of those videos got a whole bunch of engagement because the game at the time didn't have a huge audience. So it wasn't like you were getting tens and hundreds of thousands of views
on how to bunny hop and Quake Champions.
Yeah. So it was like, okay, well, I've done 10 videos on this, and there's not a whole bunch of people really identify. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, well, they did it for the passion, but there's not a lot of motivating the passion. So let's pretend money's not involved, because some people want to do this stuff and make a lot of money. Because if you look at some of like the Fortnite content creators, like, dude, there's a 14-year-old Australian kid. He just does really low effort, just like meme stuff for that game, right? It was like, whoa, you know, like, check this out. And ad break. Yeah. And he's making, I'm not actually having a go, because like kid's doing what he loves, right? But the kid's like making he's something like in 2019 he made $1.2 million off of like sponsors and ad revenue, and it's just literally that, right?
That's
And
funny.
the thing
That's
right,
what Bloodshot made last year.
Yeah, I did hear that. The Bloodshot, dude, you're huge.
That creates like that sort of momentum thing where those people will keep doing it and building upon it because it's a feedback loop. And I think like a lot of people with these kind of games, they struggle to get in that feedback loop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, if there's nutrients going both ways for it, it kind of like creates a feedback loop. And I just think that these kind of games have struggled with that for a long time. I think Doom Eternal has been a bit of an exception because I don't think the multiplayer, let's say it was a multiplayer only game, I don't think we'd be doing this podcast right now, but the single player is just so strong, right? And it's built up such a community around it and interest, and there's such a large population that play it. There are content creators like Mayo, who's running this podcast, that can, like, you'd be doing these things regardless, but because there's so much involvement from the community side of it, you're feeding off that energy, so you want to keep doing more. So I feel like a lot of content creation for stuff like Arena FPS has always struggled because there's not that energy to keep it going. You kind of feel like you're sort of like busking like a guitarist on a dark street by yourself. Does that make sense? I don't know. I went on a tangent there.
I think you're onto something there. There's I don't want to take away from Doom too much, but I guess this is topical. I think Titanfall 2 is kind of a decent example of that, where on release Titanfall 2 was like the big new thing, and then it kind of died within the first year, and it was very unfortunate because it's a really cool like multiplayer game. But Titanfall 2 had just a really good like single player campaign that people really raved over, and B, it's actually one of the like top speedrun games. It's like one of the most popular like runs from past GDQs, and the guy who does those runs, Brian Otto, is so like not pushy, like so positive about putting out content for speedrunning and speedrunners that it got Titanfall 2 to become like bigger than it was, to the point where I wouldn't say speedrunning is the only reason, but like they put it on Steam a little while ago instead of just the Origin launcher, and it got like a huge resurgence just because people were still interested in both the campaign, and then also multiplayer users were figuring out speedrun tech, and then we're using that in the multiplayer, and it added a lot more depth to the game than people realized. And it was a really cool thing where, because of like the interactions between single player and multiplayer and just their like coexistence, it extended the life cycle of that game. And I think Doom Eternal also has something similar going for it.
It absolutely does.
Yeah, like those. If Doom Eternal weren't the game it is, I mean, we all would have, you know, put out our content in the first couple months, and, you know, and maybe I would have kept making the videos I make. But yeah, I mean, I can't lie that like the feedback and, you know, the traffic of and the community is obviously a motivating factor to keep going. And I think what's so interesting about the success of Doom Eternal, especially as a single player game, is that there's so much that you can do in this game, but the game is also structured in a way to make you want to do a lot. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's not that you can just kind of run around and do one or two things when you get the game your first time, and then there's a world of stuff you can discover apart from it. No, like, as you're playing the game your first times, the game makes you want to learn more about it because it's already pushing you to learn more about it. And so you kind of get that bug and you get that addiction, and you want to keep diving deeper, even if you start on a casual level. It's kind of fascinating. So we have some new content that has recently come out. We have our Terrace Nabad Master Level, and we also have the news of the cancellation of Invasion Mode and the inclusion of a Horde mode. Which one do you guys want to hit first?
I think because the first subject, cancellation, or I guess postponement of the Invasion Mode, how they're shifting their focus. First of all, I understand it. I think that this just is very much in tune with the id team continuing to play or pay very, very close attention to what the community is actively enjoying the most right now, and importantly, what the community has said that it wants. The Horde mode, the community Horde modes that exist, it's because there was a huge demand for it. and it's, clearly the team have noticed there is a huge demand for it, and now I'm very excited to see what they do. But I think before we go into those two topics, Invasion having its postponement, I think I'm one of the few people that I'm a bit more gutted about it than probably most people would. I think a lot of people are in the opinion of it's definitely the kind of mode that I think people would play a couple of times and maybe kind of just go back to their favorite mode and that's it. The biggest thing that I've always been hopeful for with Invasion is, for the first time, having a true collaboration between the battle mode community and the single player / speedrun community, where you can set up these situations where you've got really good demons, but also incredible slayers. So you look at slayers that know all of the speedrun tech and, potential out of bounds or whatever the case may be. Anything that a demon might be able to use to stop those strats from working, those kind of situations actually excited me quite a lot. Imagine taking these demons that have incredible movement and execution, but also are knowledgeable of what a speedrunner would try and do to get somewhere fast. How would a speedrunner adapt to the fact that these 2-player controlled demons are stopping you from doing what you want to do? And it's I feel like it would create some really interesting encounters and almost open the floodgates for an entirely new experience. But at the same time, that would definitely, I think, be the 0.1%. Not everyone is going to be playing in that side of things, and it would almost risk going into what battle mode currently is, which is there's two sides to it. You'll get either a massively competitive match if everyone knows what they're doing, but everyone knowing what they're doing in public matchmaking is not the most common scenario. So I think there's many pieces to it. I think the Invasion mode didn't have the kind of community credit it kind of deserved in terms of what it could have been. But I fully understand why the shift has been made, and I think it will benefit the greater community more to have more focus on a Horde scenario. You know what I mean? I'd like to see it be 2-player co-op, maybe. That would be fun. But selfishly, I am a bit I'd still always love to see what Invasion mode could have become.
Yeah, definitely. It makes sense, like you said, that they're focusing on Horde mode instead. And we've mentioned it several times on this podcast that without an anti-cheat program and you have Invasion mode enabled on your game, you have someone come in and they're running cheats, and now you're facing a demon that is invincible. Well, your run has just been ruined. And plus the pandemic, testing Invasion mode while they can't be in the same office, I'm sure it's just been a nightmare. I'm sure it was a difficult decision to make, but I understand it.
I think on release it would have been good for streamers and stream communities, subscribers only. Come on, I'm going to do an Ultra Nightmare run, and if you're the guy who takes me down on my run, you're going to get a gifted Ferrari or whatever the shit they do.
I don't think Doom Eternal streamers are gifting Ferraris.
A new car.
Yeah, it's just the YouTubers that can afford Ferraris.
Yeah, maybe a Ferrari hat. And that's about as far as we go.
But essentially, I think it would have been good for the first 3 to 6 months. Particularly the first 3 months, especially when there was I'd say some of the more mainstream streamers on platforms like Twitch playing the game. It would have been good for stuff like that. But at this point now, probably not. Like I said, and now with public games being an issue with the lack of the anti-cheat, it's just not worth it. But the mods made by Prote and Solar prove that there is a demand for stuff like Horde mode, and an official one. Dude, if they do a scoreboard, an official top 100 or top 10, you survived this long, stuff like that, man, would just get people really pumped to just beat other people in the community. They really need to do if Hugo's listening to this or someone from id Software, you need to put a scoreboard. I know there's going to be people that'll cheat and they'll be there's going to be people that'll rig it or not play, but they'll it's not going to be perfect. But for the most part, a single player thing like that, it'd be dope to have a top 100. Yeah. People chasing each other.
There's supposed to be something, right? Didn't they mention that there was going to be some kind of scoring system?
They did? I must have missed it. Well, if they are, man, do it. That'll make that so good.
I'm pretty sure
that's
did.
That's incentive right there. That is 100% incentive to play it. That's Battlemode's problem right now. There's no incentive. That's like,
What, dude? There was
a
top.
rank mode or something, or like a competitive leaderboard that you have to like compete against people, to get into the top leaderboard. You see your name in the top 100 people in the whole world in that game, dude. That's nuts. So like, yeah, with Horde mode, dude, if they had a leaderboard, it's like, oh yeah, you made it to round 135 and you got this score and you didn't die or do this or whatever, and you're up here and everyone can see your name, dude. That's incentive enough for like a lot of people to play it, and for people to get into it too that don't already play it.
And they're going to get so much better too. Like there's going to be so many players out there that have not pushed themselves to learn quick switching tech or ballista boosting or like staying in the air with the meat hook or the faltering system, blood punch setups. There are people who just kind of coast by on what they're comfortable with. And if they go into Horde mode and they want to get on leaderboards, they're going to have to learn. And it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I did want to touch back on Invasion just real quick, because I do kind of agree with Ketchup that I actually was really excited for Invasion mode. When I first saw it, I thought it was very superfluous, like, before all the speedrunning stuff and before the game came out. And then when I started playing, I thought, first I started thinking, oh, Invasion mode could be cool, and then I got into speedrunning and I thought, well, this can go one of two ways. And this is such a niche thing, which is, I agree with you that only like less than 1% of the community would even like really love Invasion mode for this kind of stuff. But selfishly, I was very curious as to what like would happen if like somebody did speedrun skips to avoid a fight, and then like would the demons get left behind? And I was like, I don't want that to happen, but I'm curious if that would happen. But
I see Bloodshot's just like, I just can't wait till a Mancubus spawns in here. I'm gonna get that rare Mancubus meat hook jump, and I get this rare.
but unironically, I had said I really want what's it called? I really wanted there to be friend matchmaking, because I really wanted to do co-op speedruns where somebody theoretically picks a pain elemental, carries you up, and then you just fling off of them to the end of the level. And I don't think it would be like faster than any percent, but it would be kind of interesting to see co-op speedruns where one person plays demon, the other person plays slayer.
So you would have the other guy spawning in like in every level and at a certain point, so you can work together to execute different skips. I had never even considered that. That's fascinating.
That'd be awesome.
And I doubt it would work. Like I imagine they would put some sort of thing to like block both players in or something. But
purple goo in the sky.
Or purple goo in the sky. But if they didn't, like, it'd be so interesting to just see what would happen. It's just it's one of those like thought experiments that would be kind of a what if.
What if?
I think it goes to show us even talking about this as like, theory fighter, if you will. It goes to show the creativity that you can have in Doom Eternal, that we're kind of sitting here and we're talking about the stuff that you in theory would be able to do just because that's how the game works. No matter what extra stuff gets added to the game, it will unlock so many new doors and new ways of playing a game that already has pretty much countless ways of enjoying it right now. And I think that's, if above all else, I think it's a testament to maybe why Doom Eternal is having this staying power that it clearly does have. It's just an extremely deep game, no matter what mode is put forward.
Dude, case in point, I mean, just look at the five of us. We're five people who have like our own ways of playing this game and the different things that we focus on. It's, I don't know, that's one of the most inspiring things about it, that a lot of times I see with games, once they've been out for a year, everyone's kind of like focusing on like one thing that they're doing. But this game seems to have, like just a few months ago, we had that stupid tongue-in-cheek full auto versus sticky bombs war, right? Like that, it was dumb, but it just goes to show that there's so much passion for the different ways that people like playing this game, right? I've got advanced guides to the microwave beam that some people love and other people couldn't give two shits about. But that's what's so cool about it, right? That people find different ways to enjoy it, and that's what keeps them going. And then they shift, like I'll spend 6 months using one set of mods, and then I'll shift. Like I was so focused on the creation of the brawler rules in the first 6 months that I really didn't even pay attention to what anyone else was doing. And then I'm running around with micro missiles, and then Horde mode came out, and I was like, oh Jesus Christ, okay, because I had been ignoring the ballista the entire time because I just didn't like it for the first months, and then I started using the ballista because of Horde mode, and I started shifting my playstyle a bit, started making a little bit of a hybrid, and now the way I play now is completely unrecognizable to the way I used to play, and speaking of Horde mode, I just finally beat Horde mode 1. I got close and I died, and then then tag 1 came out like the next week, so I left it and I didn't come back, and I beat Horde mode 2, but then a month ago I was like, you know what, I never beat Horde mode 1, and so I stuck to it. I beat it, and that thing is crazy. That last arena in Exultia just destroyed me.
It crashed my game. It destroyed my computer every time.
Yeah, I think
I've never completed it because it always crashed.
That sucks.
Early on, they I remember they never I don't think they put a single checkpoint anywhere, and or I think they put a checkpoint after like the introductory rounds, and then once you got every single upgrade, then they gave you a checkpoint. But they didn't have a checkpoint for the final boss, and I had crashed there. And I was like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
And apparently it happened to enough people where they crashed on literally the final arena that they ended up adding that checkpoint there. I think it was just because of the crash. I think if there was no hope of crashing, they'd be like, whatever, people are fine. But that was rough.
I hear that Horde mode 3 from Prote and Solart has been officially canceled. Which is sad to hear.
Wait, is it actually canceled, or was that a meme?
No, they're not working on it. They discontinued work on it.
Oh, okay.
Is that because of the official announcement of them doing their own one? Obviously the one that's actually being added to the game?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
I don't think they've given a reason.
Okay.
Or if he has, it's probably not like a major official one, but I'm sure it could be one of 3 things, either a cease and desist because Horde mode is going to be a thing, or maybe they actually brought Proto on if, best case scenario. And if somebody is listening, obviously the time to bring Proto on is probably, past. They're probably working on Horde mode now. But whether or not they did, if they didn't bring Proto on, I want them to put some Easter egg in or some reference to Proto and Solar, because they deserve some really sort of recognition. Just for the honest to God, I think a lot of people got burnt out on Doom, or they were kind of losing interest after base game was first completed, and then there was a huge content drought from base game to tag 1, and then Horde mode came out right in the middle of it, and I think brought a lot of people back, and also got people to just get better. And I think they kept a lot of people interested in Doom Eternal, because I know a few people, including myself, who were probably going to come back for tag 1, but we were like, ugh, Doom again. Who wants to play that again? And then Horde mode just kept us going.
Yeah, I think it was good. It was good for content creators as well. I saw a lot of people, an Australian guy, I think Devo kind of made a name for himself through that mod alone, because it was something for them to sweat. Once a lot of the speedrunners had made their names and crushed the main campaign, it was sort of you sort of had your regular go-tos, your Bite Me's, your Drakus and whatnot, people like yourself, Bloodshot, Zai, all right? And I think that created another space for people that, to flex a bit, because the Horde mode, that isn't a walk in a park. That's especially if you're doing Nightmare Plus, Ultra Nightmare, that shit's insane.
It's very nice that it has multiple difficulty options as well. That is
not
just for the top tier.
Double Marauders before it did double Marauders. All right.
Oh my god, that was so scary the first time it happened. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and it was a tight space too.
Because it wasn't just 2 Marauders. There's 10 gargoyles running around and Dread Knights flying in the air. It's tough. It is tough. I wanted to ask our guests a few biographical questions. I wanted to ask, what are the first games that you got into as kids? The first games that you were like really into, and also what's the first-person shooter that you really started to dive into? Bloodshot, I'll start with you.
So my whole family's been like gaming since I've been like as far as I can remember. So I grew up with a lot of the older consoles, and so gaming's always just been a thing. There was never really one that stood out to me where I like grew up with it, because like you had Mario 64, Mega Man X, Super Metroid, all of those. But I'm just gonna. I guess as time went on, like I started like noting some of the ones that really impacted me or became my favorites. My absolute favorite game is Metroid Prime. It's like the perfect sense of exploration to me, and just kind of cool like gameplay / movement. Even a little bit of speedrun movement, although I'm terrible at speedrunning Metroid Prime. So go figure. But Metroid Prime is definitely like the biggest, like most impactful game to me. And then first FPS, I don't even know. This is probably going to be the weirdest answer, but it was this shooter on the Wii, and it was called The Conduit, and it was really good. Like I think people
remember this.
People discredit like the Wii as a whole, although I thought the Wii was fine. But in particular, like shooters that were made for the Wii alone were actually really good. And like I went back to it recently, and I was like, this actually just plays really well. Like it's not mouse and keyboard, but it's closer to mouse and keyboard than every other shooter. So I'm like, this is fun. This is really good. Like I don't know why people diss this.
It is funny you should mention that, because when I was kind of like a teenager, had the same kind of experience. I got the Wii because I was a extremely loyal Nintendo fan, and I had that instead of the the other consoles at the time. And I'd got the Wii because of Red Steel being the announcement trailer for Red Steel, which by the way, complete bullshit that trailer was. Absolutely did not represent the game at all, but it made the game look great. And I was always looking for a serious shooter to play on the Wii, and I just couldn't find it. And then I was reading a magazine one time, saw The Conduit, and I was like, oh my god, this actually looks like the serious shooter I've been looking for. And unfortunately, I got it right as we kind of, as a household, got other consoles, so it kind of got lost in the void and never really had a chance to give it a go. But you're the first person I've ever heard actually talk about that game. I thought it was like, was this a fever dream? Did I just imagine this was a game that came out? Like, they made a second one, right? They
did make a second one, and they tried it was bad. The multiplayer was fine. The single player was absolute hot steamy garbage compared to the first one. Here's the thing. The first one had Kevin Sorbo as a voice actor, who is, I don't know if you guys know, he did Hercules and the Legendary Journeys and some other shit.
Shit is the key word in that last part.
Yes. But like he's like an actor, like he did stuff.
Yeah, and then he's in God of War 3.
And then he was as Hercules.
Yeah.
I still love that.
But great.
But they got rid of him for the second one, and like they just got like a bunch of no-name actors, because I think they probably didn't have the budget, because
they didn't have Kevin Sorbo money.
That's pretty sad when you think about it.
Poor Kevin.
But the first one was so good, and this is gonna sound so stupid, but it was like ripe with hackers every so often. And it got to the point where I was good enough that like I'd queue against hackers, and I'd still like beat them in team deathmatch because I was just better than them anyway.
Oh man, Tomatrix, I'm moving the same questions over to you. What were the first games that you really got into as a kid, and the first FPS that you remember diving deep into?
Well, I can answer both with one simple answer. That's Doom 2: Hell on Earth.
Okay.
My first game I ever played back in, I want to say 2004. My dad had this like, yeah.
Wait. The first game you ever played was 2004, and it was a game from 1994.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, 10 years old. My dad had like, I mean, I guess nowadays it's like a really old laptop for his job, and he had the CD for Doom 2: Hell on Earth, and he tried to show me like these games because he played it so much from like 1993 to 1998. Dude, he played that game nonstop. And then I was born in 99. And then at the age of 5 years old, I started playing Doom 2. Dude, that game was incredible. And heck, I even actually just played it the other day, and it still stood up to time, and I'm
It's
like, wow, this
so
is
fun.
It's so good. And yeah, Doom 2 just kind of got me into FPSs in general. I played Deathmatch in like 2007, 2008ish. I started getting into online stuff for Doom and everything, but other games though, like Tack and the Power of the Juju for PS2 or GameCube. Anybody ever play that?
Doesn't sound familiar.
I never got the chance to, but it was always one of those ones that looked pretty decent.
It was like that was probably my first open world game that was just, dude, it's incredible. And still like today, like even now in 2021, it's a really, really good game. If anyone's ever played it, dude, they'll tell you the same thing. It had a lot of content, the open world and like how it was laid out and everything. It was just incredible. And it was fun. It was goofy. It was just, I don't know. It was an awesome game. And then I got an Xbox 360 when like, I guess it was like 2 years after it came out and stuff. Started getting the Call of Duty, Halo, dude, Halo 3, Halo Reach, those games. So that was like my childhood, dude.
Halo Reach was probably the first like modern shooter I like ended up getting to grow up with. And I remember really liking it, and people always would tell me that Reach was like one of the worst ones, and that it was Halo 2 and Halo 3. And I always it was always sad because I still think Reach was really good, but I do wish I had gotten the chance to like grow up during the like heyday of Halo 2 and Halo 3.
You guys are making me feel so old right now.
Yeah, well, sorry. Oh, if you want to feel old, this kills me inside, but I love telling people this because I like making them feel old too. But apparently, the gap between the NES and the GameCube is 19 years, and then the gap between the GameCube and now is 20 years.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
yeah. I don't think I ever thought about that.
Think about that. That's
nope.
How weird is that?
I mean, my first FPS was Turok Dinosaur Hunter, man. That was way before.
Yeah, my first one was Wolfenstein 3D, so all you go to hell.
I was thinking about it, and funnily enough, my granddad had an old computer, and when I was like 4 or 5, I would hop onto it, and he did in fact have Wolfenstein 3D on it. But the only memory of this, and this is just, it's one of those things that's going to stick with me for the rest of my life. But I have all of my brothers and I have this memory of our granddad sitting on like the couch near that computer, and he was just like he was out. He was sleeping, and he was sleeping to the menu music of Wolfenstein 3D. And we always think about that menu music as like sleeping music because of that now.
No.
That is kind of amazing. I'm not going to lie.
Are there any games that you guys are looking forward to this year?
Oh, Dying Light 2, baby.
Okay.
That's going to be a good one.
Cynic has gotten me interested in that, actually.
Dude, when Dying Light 1 was like first announced and stuff, I pre-ordered that shit immediately whenever it was available. Was not disappointed. It was incredible. And then now I've been waiting for Dying Light 2 for like 2-3 years now. And then now it's actually has a release date for like this, November, December, somewhere in there.
Okay.
I'm pumped for that. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give that a shot as well. I watched Cynic, the original, put up a 25-minute review of the first game. And I've never played it, but the review was interesting. I think it's piqued my interest enough to give the second one a shot.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of other games this year, I don't even know. I don't think anyone knows what it is, honestly, but I guess there was some news of id Software developing a multiplayer game that's supposed to release in like 2021 or something. Anybody else hear about that?
Nope.
I mean, I know there's been an announcement of, I know a new Painkiller was confirmed at E3.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It was like, there was no announcement on the game or something, but like there was a few things that were like confirmed, like they're working on some multiplayer thing, but I have no idea anything, honestly.
No,
I just wonder if anyone's heard about it.
I can't tell them. They'll send me to court.
What?
Can't do it.
What?
Oh, sorry, I got the mic on.
Spud, what did you just say?
I know nothing.
Okay.
Nah, I think like mate, there's a high possibility because they kept talking about Battlemode 2, like it didn't. The way they keep hyping up Battlemode 2 is as if it's not just going to be an update. Like I've heard them talk about it a couple of times where it's like, so maybe it might be like a subtle like like that's what they're talking about. You know what I mean? But,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Mm.
It was just a bunch of things that were registered as like a new file for Steam and like a few other things that
Yeah.
were like oh, it's a new multiplayer game developed by id Software, set to release somewhere in 2021-ish. And that was
Matrix,
about all the information I was
you
given.
want to know what my actual hunch is?
Quake?
My
Quake
hunch? No,
related?
no. I think they're fucking
No.
done with that.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
being brutally honest. But seriously, they'd take it back behind the shed and put Buckshot right behind his head. Like, that's how much they're done with it, right? I genuinely think, right, there's a high probability, and I have no inside knowledge, it's just what I've deducted, that if it isn't a 100% new IP that they're doing, and it's those Steam files and all that, anyway, it's possible that they might be doing a standalone client for Battlemode, because the way
That's
they
what
talk
I
about
thought it might
Battlemode,
be.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I think it might be. So Battlemode,
Which would be
they
awesome.
didn't actually call it Battlemode 2, so they might do a thing where it's a standalone thing, and then get people in like I know Bethesda are fucking dying to have a multiplayer that's buzzing. So they want, and they know that multiplayer is just a free-to-play meme at the moment. So my hunch is that Battlemode 2 is a free-to-play standalone client, and it brings in all the kids, all the casuals, and they'll try and monetize it with loot boxes. I don't mean that in a nasty way. I just mean the way to make money out of it
cosmetics
is
and
that
shit.
they'll,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
cosmetics in general, yeah, for sure.
that's what I think they're
That's
going to do.
almost exactly what I thought was going to be, like to a T. Actually, oh, dude, I hope so.
I just don't see where
Dude, that's my passion, man. That's like battle mode. That's my shit.
But
I love it.
I don't with COVID and then the time between all the DLC and this. I don't think they've had the resources or team size and they just haven't had the time to develop a fully fledged new IP or multiplayer game to be released this year. There's just no way.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, you're probably right. I can agree with that.
So we shall see. I'm happy to eat my own words. I'm hungry.
I'm actually starving.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's one of those things. Like what makes me upset about not being able to really play battle mode much is because I don't enjoy playing the Slayer that much in battle mode because it's just not. I don't play battle mode to play Slayer. I play battle mode because I love the Revenant. Like, so that's why I love playing battle mode. But it's I'm not on that pro gamer sleeping pattern anymore, where I can be up until like 4 a.m. playing with some American chaps like Demon in Matchmake. I can't do that anymore, and I have no one EU to play it with either. So it's like I'm kind of stuck in a position where I don't really have much people to play with, and there's so many people in the Discords that it's a bit like I don't even know who to reach out to anymore. So I'm a little bit stuck.
Isn't Zan in EU?
Yes, but he does a lot of Slayer, right? I don't know how.
No, dude, he's
is.
like pretty much just everything.
Yeah, I assume
he
so.
plays a lot of Demon too.
But I do want to, catch up with people and actually start playing it again because I haven't in so long. I miss it dearly. But on the subject of other games this year, I'm actually pretty damn excited for Back 4 Blood, the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead.
I hope it's so good. It looks good, but I'm hoping it's really good.
Wait, what?
So
Back 4 Blood is it's being. I forget who's publishing, but I know who the developers. Thank you. I know like the developers on Back 4 Blood are like the original developers from Left 4 Dead 2, and they're just making. They're making, literally the name is basically Left 4 Dead, but with no copyright
Back 4
issues.
Blood. Yeah.
I just looked it up. It's Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. I hope it's good.
That sounds kick ass.
My brother Mustard is unbelievably excited for it because he loves those. He loves those games. Left 4 Dead pretty much created an entire genre, didn't it? And I know that he's been playing. He's absolutely still loves playing Vermintide, and I know that we're both really. Actually, that's another game I'm actually really excited for is Darktide. For anyone that enjoyed Vermintide and likes the Warhammer universe and doesn't know this, Darktide will be coming out. The same team that made Vermintide, but it is set in the 40k universe, and that's what I'm very, very excited for. So I think definitely those two for me. I think I can't think of any other game coming out that. I mean, I've got all my fighting games. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with Doom. I'm happy with Quake. Like
for me, it's
multiplayer. It's whatever.
For me, there's two, and I only say two because I didn't even know the one was coming out this year. But the one that I didn't know was coming out was the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn's coming out in 2021 supposedly. And I legitimately think that was like the sleeper. Well, not a sleeper hit, but it was. I played that, and that was so much better than I thought it was going to be. It was one of those ones where I watched the trailer and it's like, oh, cool, very cinematic robot dinosaurs that you get to fight, quote unquote. And I'm thinking it's gonna be like, quick time events, cutscenes, that kind of bullshit. And then I played it, I'm like, no, you just fight giant robot dinosaurs. And what else can you ask for? Like, you feel like you're fighting giant robot dinosaurs. That's what video games are about, man.
Rock did it first.
Did you play that on PlayStation or on the PC release?
I played it on PS4. I never because I played on PS4, I didn't get the PC release because I was like, I can't justify buying the game again. But
Sure.
I did debate it because it was that good of a game where I was like, I wouldn't mind, buying and playing it again. But then the other one that I was and am and always will be excited about is Deathloop, because I'm a huge, I was a huge Dishonored 1 fan, and ever since Dishonored, I just buy anything that Arcane makes because I trust them to make a pretty decent game, and so far they have made really decent games. And then they postponed Deathloop, and I was very upsetting. It wasn't upsetting. It's like I'm hoping that the game is good. I'm hoping that they postpone it, for the betterment of the game. But I'm like, I really want to play Deathloop. I'm so excited for.
I didn't know that Arcane was making that. I like Dishonored, but I fucking love Prey so much.
Is so good.
And so, I mean, people have told me about Deathloop. I thought it looked interesting, but I did not know it was Arcane. That just shot up to the top of my list.
Yeah, it's made. I would say, quote unquote, the A team of Arcane is working on Deathloop because there's like two different Arcane studios. I forget what the one is, and then the other, like the quote unquote B team, is in Texas. Not to discredit them. They have all, both teams have made good games, but like the A team made Dishonored, and then I'm not. I mean, if you like Prey. I liked it too, but I did not like it as much as Dishonored. And the quote unquote B team, I think, worked on Prey, which, in fairness, if Prey is their quote unquote worst game, that is a really, really good worst game to have.
Love Prey.
Like they're pretty, like they're like their worst game's like an 8 out of 10. So like that is A-okay with me.
Yeah, Arcane Studios is a great dev company, honestly. Like they're freaking awesome.
Bloodshot, have you seen my video on the first level of Dishonored?
I have not.
I'm going to send it to you. It breaks down how the first level of Dishonored teaches you all the mechanics through its level design. I'm going to send it to you. I think you'll like it.
All right. Yeah, I love Dishonored 1 in particular. It's this game where I've replayed that campaign maybe like 20 times, and every single time I play that campaign, I figure out some new thing about the game, whether it's like a shortcut I didn't know that existed, or some interaction between two powers that like they either did or did not plan. And it's always fun that like I can get that much enjoyment from a game.
Oh, dude, how about the this is just like one thing in Dishonored 2 that I freaking loved was the like guard robots that were in that one mansion.
Yeah,
dude, their voice lines just destroyed me every single time they spoke. It was the greatest thing on earth.
That whole level was just really cool.
Yeah, that mansion was awesome.
I'm looking at a list of games that come out this year. Far Cry 6, anyone?
I liked 5, and I'm hoping 6 is decent too, but it's like, no offense to Ubisoft, but it's another of the same game, okay. So we'll see.
Forza Horizon 5. Any racing fans? No? Metroid Dread.
Oh, that's coming out this year?
Yeah, that's what it says on this list.
Jesus Christ, that's amazing. Oh, I'm a huge Metroid fan. If you gave me one series to pick to keep forever, it would be Metroid.
All right, cool. Yeah, I saw some videos of it. I like that it goes back to a 2D style. That gets me interested in it.
I have a real fond memory of playing Metroid Prime Hunters on the regular DS. That was a good time.
I never got the chance to, and that one made me sad that I missed out on playing that one.
Yeah. So again, just quick introduction of what that was. It was a fully fledged FPS on the regular Nintendo DS, and the whole premise of it was there's more than one bounty hunter in this game. So you play as Samus in the campaign, but I can't remember the exact story, but I know that there are other bounty hunters from other worlds that are basically looking for what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. So what happens is, while you're playing the game, sometimes these other bounty hunters show up, and they've all got their own kind of things that make them unique, their own weapons and everything else. They kind of show up and you have to fight them they're kind of like mini bosses basically. But the reason I remember it so fondly is because it had a multiplayer where you could play as all of them. You could play as Samus if you wanted, but you could play as every bounty hunter, and they could all use the different weapons, but they had their own unique weapon that gave them like a unique ability with it. Samus could go into Morph Ball, but they could also go into some kind of alternate form where someone becomes a turret. Sometimes you become like this little spinny blade, whatever it is. And it was just like, it was really fun. It was ambitious for a DS title.
A lot
And
of
it
people
had,
who played it said it
Wi-Fi.
was really good. And I remember looking at it thinking that is so cool that they have content in the multiplayer that wasn't just ripped from single player, that they actually made unique characters for the multiplayer
It was great.
in a game that you wouldn't have expected it, you know? You would have expected it to be like a throwaway multiplayer, but no, like people actually cared about that.
Yeah, it was not split screen, sorry. It was local multiplayer that you could fight bots. So my brother and I used to just do 2v2 against bots. But you could connect to Wi-Fi and play people, which was fun. I don't know how true this was, but I'm sure people would, though, action replay their game and then go online. Because sometimes they just would not die. It felt like people had like infinite health. There was tech where you could take the dude who becomes a turret, like he severs himself in half and becomes a turret. If you take a big health, if you sit on a giant health pickup and then go into your turret mode where you're walking around as like a blade monster and your bottom half is a turret, as long as it's in contact with health, when that health comes back, it just gives it to you. So you're just running around as this droid, just getting, loads of health and stuff. That was a fun time. And again, for a regular DS, it was very impressive. Anyway, sorry, tangent, I know, but that was good.
We don't allow tangents on the Doom Eternal podcast. Ketchup.
Doom Eternal only.
Battlefield 2042.
Oh, I haven't seen too much about that yet.
I have no opinion. I've never played a Battlefield game.
I played Battlefield 3 back when that was released, and that was a ton of fun. Use a shotgun like a sniper rifle. It was great, but that was about all I've played of Battlefield. So I don't know.
I love that thing way too much.
Are you going to be playing that, Spud, when it comes out?
Yeah, I'm just tired of freaking. I'm trying not to swear, but that's what Battle Royale does to you. It just makes you turn into a filthy, swearing, angry gamer. I'm just tired of Battle Royale. It's giving me early. I'm supposed to be over with my life in in my 80s, but I'm just over Battle Royale, man. It's so done with it,
dude. Same. I've been over Battle Royales for a long time. It's overdone, and honestly, it's just kind of a gimmick at this point. I don't like the style of Battle Royale. It's fun for a little bit, but it gets old really quick. I don't know.
There's a lot of waiting.
Stuff. Yeah, it's too much downtime. That's why I like Arena FPS, dude. It's just constant go, go, go.
That's what we all have in common, though, is that's why I have, when I play Apex now, on the off chance I do play Apex, I just play the arena mode because the combat of Apex is extremely fun, and arena mode means I haven't got to sit through a battle royale to get to the good bit. That's basically how I.
How about the middleman?
Yeah, I just look at. I might sound like old man yells at cloud here, but you just look at so many battle royales that they do not hold up as FPS games on their own. If you look at quite a few battle royales and you remove the battle royale and you judge it just as an FPS, it plays like shit. And there's so many games are guilty of that. And it's like, that's not for me. I want a game that feels good. I want a game that plays well. I don't want a game that, the shooting and the controls and stuff, it's one part of it. There's fuck that. I'm playing an FPS, right? If it feels bad, I don't want to play it. End of.
Yeah.
You're so old and grumpy.
I think PUBG's a big example of that. That game has always been broken, buggy mess. It's just the novelty of it being the main originator. I know it came from a mod and the same developer from Arma, but it was the first mainstream battle royale. But that thing was just, and even to this day, it's a lot better than it was. But I just remember it being just a broken mess for 2 years. You drive one of those buggies and you'd hit a butterfly and it'd send you into the sky.
Yeah. Nothing sells it better than the fact that people enjoyed the mobile version more because it was a more solid game than original PUBG.
Jesus. Did you guys see uploaded this video where he asked me to play Fortnite with him?
Yeah, I
saw you did it, and I have heard about it. Did you enjoy it?
Oh, I mean, I enjoyed the aspect that I was there with him.
That's about right.
But there's this moment. I am so incompetent with that game. There was a part where I was almost dead. I needed to heal. And so Hump built this structure around both of us so that I could drink the shield potion or pour the shield potion on my face as my character did. And so I thought I had a shield potion, but it was actually one of the fire grenades. And so I equipped it, and I pressed the button to heal, and I burned down the entire structure and killed both of us.
You gave yourself your flame armor.
Watch that video. It's pretty entertaining.
You played yourself.
I did. I was like, oh, wait, that's not a shield.
Oh, Fortnite.
Man.
Fun fact, I have Fortnite banned in 296, I believe, different spellings on my Twitch channel. Every time anyone found a way to say it, I'd have a mod ban that exact version. So it gets to a point where people are like, oh yeah, I'll be creative. I'll find it. Oh shit. Oh, that was okay. And that, okay. Wow. Holy crap.
I mean,
Oh,
I did.
great.
I am ashamed to admit that I did give Epic £15 of my money, just so that Mustard and I, because he did it too. He did it, so I did it. We're a bad influence, but we both bought the Xenomorph alien skin at the same time. And we both bought it so that we could kill a group of people, sit on the back of a truck, and then do the dance as aliens. I just had to do it once. I had to do it at least once to be able to say I did it. I've uninstalled it. I've never played it again. I don't like the idea that, look, I'm out on the field, see someone, I'm in a better position. Well, I would think I'm in a better position than them. The Fortnite elite will tell me, well, no, there is no position because you can build battle. But I don't like the idea if I see someone, I'm about to kill him, and then fucking Big Ben just appears out of nowhere. I don't like it. I get it, but I don't like it.
Yeah, that's one of the main things I hated. Like, it's a cool aspect, sure, whatever. But man, if I want to shoot someone and they don't one shot them immediately, bam, Eiffel Tower right in front of you. You're like, oh shit.
You know, dude, you know Looney Tunes, when like, you know those like Looney Tunes things where like they build like towers instantly with like hammer and stuff. That's what Fortnite looks like to me. I can't unsee it.
There's definitely skill involved, but it is quite obnoxious.
Oh yeah. There's like a bajillion. Man, I'm addicted to compilations of gamers smashing their keyboard compilations. Because it's always Fortnite, Warzone, and Destiny.
Oh,
it's always the same people. It's a great watch.
That Spanish dude from Counter-Strike Go has the
oh my god!
You know the one I'm on about.
Yeah,
dude. Like at first I thought that
like
was
he's
fake,
so
but
done with life every time.
yeah, that was like a mafia whacking what he did to his keyboard though. Like that was that keyboard owed him money. You know that thing was gone.
Have you guys ever broken a keyboard or controller in Rage?
No.
One time.
What was your one time?
You actually you'll be the only person in this chat that will know what I'm talking about, but I was
Mortal Kombat Deception?
No, Mortal Kombat 9. I was fighting Foxy Grandpa online. It was just online casuals. It's
Foxy Grandpa's a legend, man.
He is. He's great. He is a legitimate legend. But this was like back in 20. I mean, this is back when MK9 was like the main games. This is like 10 years ago. And I think because I was at uni at the time, I think I'd had a really rough week. I was playing MK9 every day because it was just what I did with my time. I was playing Foxy, who, for those that don't know, he's one of the best players out there, period. But back then, with old delay-based netcode, and he used to play the most obnoxious characters. Man, I don't know what it was. There was just a day where we're all playing. We're in a big King of the Hill. Some lag thing happens. I've got to sit in the queue for like 40 minutes before I can play again. And that pad hit a wall, man, and I never saw it again. But then I realized as a poor uni student, I was like, I'm not doing that ever again. I'm not gonna do that. I haven't done it since.
That's my lesson.
That's definitely a mistake you make once.
Yeah. I learned my lesson. I certainly did.
Same here, Ketchup. Mortal Kombat Deception for me. I had a a really nice Baraka themed PlayStation controller.
No,
And
not a special one. At least mine was crap.
Fucking smashed that shit so hard on the ground. I was so angry.
I've never trashed my equipment. I was on a bus once and there was like a campaign ad saying respect your gaming peripherals, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna trash my keyboard ever again.
Wait, you saw an ad on a bus.
Yeah, it's like an awareness thing.
Okay, all right. I thought I heard it all.
You're lifting. You've got your hands lifted up, ready to smash the keyboard, and it's remember the bus. Remember the bus. Remember the bus.
No, the only thing I've been pretty good with my gear. I think it was weird, man. Like I've never been like an angry gamer. Like I'll bitch and moan, but something about, I think it was Quake Duel, because I started taking it seriously, Quake Duel, and in particular Quake Champions, and there was an era where like Quake Champions is awesome now. Where Duel's at is amazing. The balance, all the characters are at the right. But I played the game from like early access release, and the first year, some of the characters were just so out of balance and just like it would just tell you like this character Anarchy didn't have hitboxes at one point, and I'd verse people like I demolished certain people in the Australian community on one map with one character, and then they'd switch to Anarchy on this other map, and it'd be like they'd just 20 to like 5 frag me, and I'll be like, this is horseshit. I can't do anything to them. The only weapon that works is rockets if I'm lucky. And I remember this one game I had like this beef with this dude, and I think it was like neck and neck. I'd got it to like, just within a frag, a minute to go, and like on 10 seconds to go on the game, he just zips across the map and just, does some BS move. And I hit him, but like the hitbox wasn't there. And I just gave my mouse a little tilt slam, and I was like, fuck this. And then I had the dreaded sensor damage. So then after the match, I was like, why is my mouse just doing its own thing? This doesn't make sense. I didn't click that. What's going on? And then, I just realized that I'd made the sensor loose, and I was like, never again. I got an Ultralight too, which is, I'm a bit friendly with Rocket Drop Ninja. He's a mate of mine, and he hooked me up.
I love watching his stuff.
He's so good, man, but he's an awesome bud because I wanted a decent mouse, and he's like, here, Spuddy, have this. And he hooked me up with an Ultralight 2, which is like, I literally, like, you have to go to a Make-A-Wish Foundation to get one of these now. So,
my gosh. Dude,
like, when you talk about respect to gear, I kiss this thing goodnight, and I put it in, like, a special case. No, I don't do that. But I don't tilt slam or anything, because, like, now the equipment isn't trash. Like, if you, like, really getting into, like, sweaty gaming, like, you end up... Like, you've seen some of the mice out there, man? Like, what is it? The feather ultralight dudes or whatever. They're like, they got like these gold-plated mice limited edition things they're releasing now. It's like, what is going on? It's like Beats Dre's Beats levels of like.
Oh no! I hope
legit.
Not. Hey, dude, I haven't seen that.
I'm sorry I gotta jump in here. I understand that Bloodshot, you have to go. You have to work in like a minute, right?
About, yeah.
Is there anything that you want to... we'll go ahead and wrap up things here. And is there anything you want to plug before you go?
I would love to plug myself, but I'm not that vain.
I do. That's what it's about.
This is your moment, bro.
Yeah.
You're the guest.
Everyone go watch Bloodshot's run from GDQ. It's fantastic.
Everybody just go watch Bloodshot in general.
Legitimately, if people are like actually interested in speedrunning at all, and even just like a little bit, I'm gonna plug two different things. I'm gonna plug the Modern Doom speedrunning Discord. You can find it by just going to speedrun.com, Google Doom Eternal on that, and then you'll find a Discord link there. And just have fun. Like it's gonna sound so like after school special, but like two years ago I was like I don't even know how fucking old I am. I'm like 26, 27. I'm a software dev who just does nothing. I play video games casually, and literally 2 years ago I was watching GDQ runs just for the fun of it, thinking, oh, these are really cool. And in particular, there was a one of the guys who reads donations, Prolix, who I thought, oh, he's really cool. He's like my favorite person, like reading donations. Literally, almost 2 years later, I get to do a GDQ run of Doom Eternal with Prolix as the person reading donations. And
that's amazing.
If you had asked me, if you had said to me 2 years ago, oh yeah, you're gonna be one of those people, like you're actually insane. Like get out of my house. Why are you here?
Yeah.
But I started speedrunning Doom Eternal as literally just a casual, oh, this game's really cool. I really like this game. This could be fun. And it's turned into something much bigger. So like if anyone's just like, oh, maybe that's cool, but it couldn't be me. It can be you. Like I'm a loser. I'm a loser from the East Coast of the US, and I'm apparently at GDQ. Like if they'll take me, they'll take anybody.
Hey, you earned it, man, though. Well done.
Yeah,
East Coast gang.
you've done really good work as well with your discoveries. I mean, between you and Siler and Bowser and just like everybody who works on the speedrunning side of the game is, I don't know, you guys do really impressive stuff, and you've really come into your own.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us, and also thanks a lot to you and Arrhythmia for helping me with that speedrunning video that I did. I definitely couldn't have done that without you, and I learned a lot from you guys.
Anytime, and there's always more.
There's
to learn.
always
That's
more.
For damn sure.
Yeah.
There's always more.
Right. Oh well, Bloodshot. Take care. Have a good day. Thanks for coming on.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Everybody, say bye.
Nope.
Catch you later.
Bye. There you go. Goodbye.
Cool. Is there anything else you guys want to hit before we go?
I'm all right. I have done a lot of talking in this episode, so I'm all good.
Hey, it's been nice. You guys have been real chatty today. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been a good Doom therapy session. I think I learned a lot about myself today.
Remember the
it's
bust,
good. No, it's
bud.
actually a good.
Remember
It was
the
a
bust.
good. Remember the bus. Respect the keyboard. No, yeah, that was a lot of fun, and Tomatrix, maybe Battlemode 2 very soon. Soon to you. Smashing it. You repping that jersey of yours?
I'm just saying right now, I'm just Battlemode, pretty good. Yeah, play it. Okay.
It's been cool just to hear you guys talk Battlemode stuff, because Ketchup doesn't always have someone on here to go back and forth with so much on the Battlemode side of things. So I've just enjoyed listening.
Very much never do.
I'm like the Battlemode guy. I freaking love it. Man.
I can definitely vouch for Tomatrix on that one. When the game was first coming out, and there weren't a lot of people kind of putting out like what you would definitely call like competitive battle mode footage, right? I think Tomatrix was definitely the one that was just kind of really forefronting that and getting a lot of people seeing the game as like a really fun experience, and people were like, oh hell yeah, I'm going to get involved as well, and yeah, kind of the rest of it goes from there. But it was a good time.
And Fallback was like right there with me right from the start, like day one. Started uploading stuff, dude. Me and him like cranked out content for that so much.
So
and then
sick.
I got a new job, and I had disappeared for like 6 months, and then I came back full force, and now I'm actually making. I actually, after a full year since the first community collection video, where it's like if anyone doesn't know what that is, it's like a video where everybody sends me clips, like a montage or something, like in other games you've probably seen, Rocket League, CS:GO, whatever.
I liked watching that one. That was a really good video, man.
And now there's 2 more already out since then that I did recently. Like I'm trying to do at least once a month right now.
Up on your YouTube channel?
Dude, yeah. They are like way higher quality in terms of like how I did the start and everything. And it just, I'm trying to make each and every one unique, and it doesn't seem like it's a rushed, like you just go into it and it's just like, okay, here's all the clips. Okay, it's done. And oh yeah, there was some music in there too. No, it's like right from the start, it gets you hyped up, and it's like some really cool thing that goes really well with the music, and then all of a sudden it's just right into the clips, and all the transitions are really good. And dude, everyone is just getting better and better and better. I'm actually really proud of the second and third ones. Like the first one was, that was like my first experiment, like kind of see how this goes. And then I didn't do another one for a whole freaking year because of a lot of stuff, and then I just like went back through a bunch of clips. I got a bunch of clips from people in the community, and then made a second one, and then that second one got rolling into the third. But then right now I'm in a drought. It's been quite a bit since I released the third one. It's been like 3 weeks or something, and I've only received like 1 or 2 clips, which is like,
oh, this is unfortunate.
Rip. So I probably won't be making a fourth unless they get some more.
Your community video on like Doom YouTube stuff was also really well done.
Thank you.
I think that was nice for everyone to hear, for viewers and creators such as ourselves to listen to and think about. It was good, and a video like that just shows that people actually care, and that it's not just a shit show out there, which is nice.
For sure, man. And like that too, I was really, really nervous to upload that because it could have went one of two ways. I was like, man, either I'm gonna get blown up on and called an idiot, or it's gonna go really well. And it went really, really well. Like, dude, there's hundreds of comments of people that are just like agreeing with these massive, like, is actually they just wrote books in the comment section. Probably like 50 whole books worth of information there. It was like, holy crap. Read every single one though. There was some good, there was some bad, but it was mainly all good, and I was actually really, really proud of it. Even though it was thrown together in 23 minutes, but
When did you start your YouTube channel?
okay, see that's weird. I started in 2018. I made one video for it was like a Modern Warfare thing because I was just streaming for like I've been streaming for 4 years, and then that was like I uploaded one video like when I started streaming. It was like I like made Modern Warfare or not. When did Modern Warfare come out? What year was that?
Wasn't that 2019? I don't
It might have
know.
been 2019. I mean, I streamed Rocket League for 2 years. I was like highest rank in the game for that for a while, and then I started playing like Modern Warfare when that came out, and that was fun. But then like I made my first YouTube video in I guess 2019 on that channel. I used to have a channel whenever I was 11 years old, and I made like stupid horror let's plays and all kinds of cringy shit, and it was so bad. That channel's completely gone off the face of the earth. You can't find it anymore, but. Well, I mean, I'm sure you could find something somewhere of it. Don't go looking. It's bad. I promise you, it's bad. But I learned a lot of mistakes from that channel, and then whenever I actually started getting the streaming when I was older, because I stopped when I was 14. I was like, okay, this is bad. I gotta stop. I kept looking at my stuff. I'm like, yeah, this isn't going nowhere. And then when I was like 18, I moved out of my parents' house and I started living on my own. Got into streaming a bunch. I was actually living off of streaming and the income I had from streaming for 2 full years, and then. I just realized I was like, okay, this is good and I'm living, but I have zero extra money, and it's like, ugh. So I got a job, and streaming definitely went downhill from there because I wasn't able to do as much. But at the same time, I was a lot happier, lots like more stable income. And then Doom Eternal came out, and I was like, I'm going to start making stuff for this because Doom has been Doom got me into gaming, and Doom 2016 reboot and everything, that was like when that came out, that was like my favorite game of all time ever made.
Same.
Period. And then
For 3 years.
whenever I saw the trailer for that, and there was like that first 30-minute gameplay footage, dude, I was like a little schoolgirl, like I'm just like screaming in my chair. I'm sure everybody was. So I was like, is this for real? Doom's getting like a actual modern, like, holy crap, what is that? So excited for that. And then I didn't really make any content with it though. I mean, yeah, that was actually way before I started doing that stuff. But then like when Doom Eternal came out, I was like, dude, this is it. This is the game. If I'm gonna make stuff, if I want to do stuff, this is like my favorite game series ever. And on top of that, this looks like a really, really good game. And then I saw Battlemode being like released at what was that, 2018 E3?
Yeah.
Or
No, QuakeCon.
was that QuakeCon? It was for
Yeah.
it was
I think QuakeCon.
Okay. Dude, that was like when I saw the footage of that, I didn't even care about the campaign. I mean, I love the campaign to death, but I honestly bought Doom Eternal for Battlemode. As crazy as that sounds, I've been called an idiot for saying that like 50 times. But dude, I've always been a competitive person in games. Like Overwatch, I was Diamond. Rocket League, I was Grand Champ. CS:GO, I was like MGE, MG2, whatever, somewhere in there. Like I was always super, super competitive in games, and like. Whenever I saw Battlemode, I'm like, if that's not the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life, I don't know what is. And I got it, and I was not disappointed at all, not one bit. Like, it was way better than I thought it was going to be, especially with all the tech and quick swapping and all the unintentional things that were discovered. Dude, it just gets better and better and better. And all we need now is support. And with Battlemode 2.0 coming out soon, and that officially announced, there's going to be rank coming out. And who knows, maybe that is a full-on free-to-play launcher separate thing that makes it from the game. And maybe it explodes. And maybe I'm like the biggest Battlemode YouTuber already, so then people flood to my channel or something, and then I blow up off it. Who knows? But like I'm really excited for the future of this, and I can't express just how much I love this game mode because it's completely unique and I'm really passionate about it. And I've never had an experience in competitive gaming anywhere even close to what Battlemode is. Like it's just unparalleled. It's incredible.
Well, damn, Tomatrix, I was going to go back to sleep after this, but you got me all hyped.
It's so good.
But it's time to load up the game.
I'm going to do some push-ups, man.
You and I need to double Revenant in battle mode soon. That's what we should do.
Ketchup, you need to play Revenant in general right now. Like, take Sadist and just We need to like make a private match whenever you want. Just let me know. Message me. We'll make a private match. I'll give you the 600 health, and you can just rock it around the map. It's so much fun.
Oh yeah, dude.
Incredible.
That's what I want. It has been a hot minute since I was able to sit and chill with Battlemode. So last time I played it was with Dude Hell Yeah. We were just planning on playing together, and then it ended up being a bit of a committee with a bunch of slayers on the Discord, and we kind of just played them one at a time. It was a good time. It was a lot of fun.
That's a really cool thing about Spicy Demons too. Like if you go in there and you just start streaming like Doom Eternal or just Battlemode, especially if you stream Battlemode in any of the channels, literally like 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 people join. Maybe a couple of other people start streaming Battlemode. Everyone snipes you. Like it is a great time. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. Now, mad respect to everyone on that server. They're freaking all awesome.
Well,
They're
guys,
honestly like my second family. All right, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask if you guys have anything else you guys want to hit before we call it a day.
I'm good. I've got to go grab some lunch. Haven't eaten yet. I've had my coffee, but
You're on that low carb diet right now, right?
Yeah, I've lost over 45 pounds this year.
45.
Holy shit!
It's supposed to work the other way with this lockdown BS. You're supposed to be like Jabba the Hutt by the end of this year. What's going on?
Well, I put on a lot.
Man.
I put on a lot of weight, and I put myself. It was mid-December last year. Put myself on a diet, and I was like, it's obviously exercise as well, 3 times a week. Minimal carbs, not completely removed, just low carb, but high protein, lots of veg, lots of exercise and water. It's been a good time.
You cut out all the soda and stuff too, I imagine.
No more. Well, for 6 months it was no biscuits. The biscuits were the killers, man. As a British dude, biscuits are like they're the comfort zone, and a lot more calories in a single biscuit than you might expect. I tell you.
If you drink tea, the biggest thing is, dude, sweet tea. That'll fatten you up so quick. Like it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I stopped having sugar in my tea. I have coffee now as well, flavored coffee.
Unsweetened tea. It's so good.
45 pounds though. I mean, that's
that's a lot of weight.
That's awesome, dude.
From what? If you don't mind me asking.
Congratulations.
Well, I started at about 200. I started at just over 220 pounds because I'm 6 foot. Just for reference, I'm quite a tall guy, so there's a lot of extra stuff there anyway. But I was 220 pounds when I started, and I'm now about 175.
Dude, 220 for 6 foot. That's not bad. That's like actually that's a decent weight.
But I had I put on a lot of weight in areas I do not want to put on weight.
It always depends on like your body type, what that kind of weight looks like and feels like.
That went straight to my belly and straight to a double chin that I was not used to having. So considering I work on camera for a living, I needed to shed a lot of weight to feel confident again.
I gotcha.
And
I'm 5'10" and a half or something, and I weigh like
350.
250. No, yeah, 600. I'm like hemp.
No, Ketchup. I mean, my image of you is still Evo 2012, right? Like,
when I was a skeleton with skin.
Yeah, I mean, because look, as a Mortal Kombat 9 player, that was really the first time we saw you guys.
What a disaster!
What a disaster!
Yeah, dude. None of us get any practice because Foxy ends up in the hospital.
Oh my God, that was...
almost dies.
I remember all that vividly.
We're with him in the hospital all day. None of us get any games in. We then played 2 team exhibitions that day because we didn't want to let anyone down. Oh God, that was a time. Then Foxy goes and gets like about top 16 with a serious concussion. That's impressive.
Yeah.
He's got a bandage on his head, and everyone's like, "What happened to him?" And I was like, "You don't want to know. Like, let's just watch him play."
Man,
dear, what a time!
Crazy times, dude. I've been on a diet myself, and I've lost like 8 pounds over the past month or so. So I'm doing okay. I gained like 15 pounds in the pandemic. Not a whole bunch, but enough to make me kind of not feel too comfortable. So I've been working on that. So feeling pretty decent.
Fitting into old clothes is always a nice feeling.
Yes,
especially when they have so many.
I bought these new pants a few months ago that were like 2 sizes higher than what I normally buy, and now they don't fit, which sucks, but also feels great.
Yeah, that's always a great sign.
Well, guys, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up. It's been a good hour and a half or so. That's usually what we hit on these things.
Sounds good.
Guys, anything you want to plug? Tomatrix, any channels, any other creators that you want to mention before we go?
All right, let me pull out my list. I got about 60 people.
Oh my God.
No, I'm kidding. So obviously I make YouTube content and I stream on YouTube and stuff. So if you ever want to watch Battlemode, get into Battlemode or 2016 multiplayer or Quake Champions, any of those three, I'm going to be making content for all three of them, like rapidly. So if you ever want to be a part of it and or see any of it, YouTube/Tomatrix or whatever. I don't know how they do it on YouTube.
I think it's user. I think it's /user /Tomatrix.
Like user slash like, and I think it might be like UKFG some 10 other letters. I don't know, something weird. And then shout outs to Bazooka Joey, dude's nice
Joey's awesome.
Nicest guy on earth, lives half an hour away from me.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Gentle giant.
Defiler Phil, Grizz, you guys, you're all great. I played 2016 with him a bunch. It's freaking fun as hell. Buckio, been a really good friend with me in Battlemode, and last but not least, Andromeda. Do you guys know him by any chance?
I don't.
Okay, he's a music artist that makes stuff on Spotify. It's like metal and everything, all instrumental. And his stuff is like heavily inspired from like Doom Eternal and stuff. So like if you ever want to like listen to music while playing Doom, dude, I'm telling you, look up Andromeda on Spotify. Listen to literally any song he has. It goes so well with gameplay, and he actually plays Doom Eternal. He's in the Battlemode community, and he said that pretty much any content creators have any amount of right to use his music and monetize it and stuff. And if you want to use it for any montages or videos or anything you're doing with Doom Eternal or anything, you fully allowed.
You know, so Convaz sent me some modded level he did, and it had music that sounded like Doom Eternal, but it was not from Doom Eternal. I'm wondering if it might have been Andromeda stuff.
It's incredible. And then to add on to that, I actually met him in real life because we found out we live 3 minutes from each other. So we met up and we got dinner and stuff and played VR at my house and everything. It was freaking awesome. He's such a cool dude. But yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out. If anyone wants to listen to music while playing Doom Eternal, but you don't want to listen to Doom Eternal's music, look up Andromeda. Dude, like, actually kicks ass. His stuff is the best.
Andromeda just spelled how it's spelled. It's not like a zero for the O or anything.
Here, I'll put it in the thing.
Andromeda with an H at the end.
With an I.
Andromeda. Okay, with an I. Gotcha. All right. Well, I don't really have anything to mention. On my channel, I have videos coming up soon on Sekiro and on Braid. So check that out soon. And you guys, Ketchup, Spud, anything going on?
Just keeping busy on my side. It's completely unrelated to Doom, but if anyone wants to follow the competitive side of various fighting games and particularly Mortal Kombat, any Mortal Kombat heads out there, check out the YouTube channel PNDKNM. And recently actually put out a video which was when, and I didn't realize this until recently, Unreal Championship 2, Raiden from Mortal Kombat was a fully fledged guest character that I think kind of shaped some of the mechanics as well, it seemed, and I kind of did a video going over that. And there's a lot more different variety to come. I do the odd Doom video, the odd Quake Champions gameplay, if I get some clips together. But I'm vibing, man. Find me on Twitter at PND Ketchup, and I'm always commentating something somewhere. You know what I mean? So if you're interested, check it out. But more importantly, thanks everyone for your time, and play Doom Eternal. It's a good game.
Yes, you should. It is great.
Yes.
It's probably why you're here.
Spud, you got anything coming up? Any tournaments?
No, just played in an Australian community tournament for Quake, and then it's pretty quiet. The Koichi Cups in Australia is thinking about running a league for Australia, like a community-run league, nothing to do with Bethesda or id Software, like just run through the community. So if there's any Australians listening, Quake Champions, Koichi Cups, there's a few of us. We do exist. But yeah, if any Australians are listening, then keep that in the back of your mind. That might tickle your pickle. Get involved. Koichi Cups, just look them up. They've got a Discord channel, and you can get involved in that. I'm 90% certain I'm going to play in that for the good old fun, for the sweat. And then, I don't know, with Doom Eternal, waiting for the next bunch of content, I'm sort of just streaming the odd run through a master level and than doing electronic music mixes, but I'm not here to plug that. So I'm just waiting for the next big patch for Doom Eternal. Other than that, that's where you can find me on twitch.com.au/.tv/thespudhunter@.twitch.com. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Bye. See you next
See ya.
time.
Good fun.
Having me.
See ya.